Bradley Wacks with the Army and Air Force Exchange Service, and his wife, Terry. And before I get into telling Bradley's story, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize one woman in this room. Leona, where are you? Stand up. This is Bradley's mother. You know, they say behind every good man is a woman. I think that's a somewhat sexist comment. Behind every person is a good person. But he's got two beautiful women working behind him, and a couple and daughters and granddaughters who you're going to get to know. Makes him who he is. I had the privilege of meeting Bradley out on a snowy day. God, was it in April? In Minneapolis. Could have been. Could have been. But it's about 28 degrees. It was on an Air Force base right outside the Minneapolis airport. Many of you may have flown right over this on your journeys through Minneapolis. Bradley has been driving for 36 years and has racked up 3.5 million miles without an accident or moving violation. And about 2.7 of those million miles and 30 years he's been driving with the Army and Air Force Exchange Service. What you're going to find out from Bradley is he has a great love for this country. He volunteered after high school to go into the Army and he got rejected because of his heart. Army made a big mistake. Although he did have 2 heart attacks, so from that standpoint, Army was probably right. Okay, but he had 2 heart attacks. There's no measure to this man's heart. Okay, he's battled through an awful lot in his life, and he still is serving this country and the men and women of this country that are in service to this country with great pride and with great results. So we thank you for that. This is a picture of him on that snowy morning with the load. Army and Air Force Exchange Service has about 90,000 SKUs that they deliver to our military folks throughout the world. Bradley delivers primarily, he's based in Dayton, and he primarily delivers up through Wisconsin, Minnesota, Indiana, those areas. But he does more than just drive a truck. When I got there, one of the things that you'll find is I had the interesting experience, and Nick, I hate to admit this, but I'm going to share it. It's because it tells who this man is. I called up and we made arrangements for me to drive with Bradley from Minneapolis on up. Well, the day before, his truck broke down. Nick was embarrassed. I think Bradley was even more embarrassed. He wore me out that day calling me every 2 hours. Hey, it hadn't been fixed yet. I hope to get there. Are you okay? I said, we're cool. Whatever happens, happens. We know in transportation, nothing ever happens the way it's meant to be. But he was worried because he cared about me, somebody he had never met. He cares about the people on this route. And he checks in with these folks. He asks them where they're going. When we got here, and he's loading these loads, and he knows most of those 90,000 SKUs just by the way that box feels and looks. He knows where to put it in the back room, and he's talking to the 2 women that were working with us in terms of the unloading, just chatting about things. They had bagels waiting for him. I don't think that's a regular occurrence, but it's not an irregular occurrence either. So he cares about the people that he works with. He cares about the soldiers that he's serving. He cares about his company, and you're going to hear all of that. And here he is just offloading a bit of this. So just a little bit of a look behind an exchange service. This is Bradley. I told you, he's meticulous in everything he does. This is at the 2016 Great American Truck Show, where he took first place in the working combination class using a 6-year-old tractor and a trailer that had over 400,000 miles, and he took first place. He was battling other folks that had brand new equipment in there. It's really amazing with that many miles he was able to take first place, and it just goes to show you how meticulous he is. Same story. The year before, he took second place in the Pride and Polish Award at the Great American Truck Show, and here he is out in front of Dallas with the rig that won it. So, one thing you might wonder is, and maybe we'll take an audience vote at the end. I asked Bradley, what's up with the beard? Okay? Because you'll notice we have beards of different lengths, and sometimes you'll see pictures of Bradley without beard. I personally think he looks better with the beard. Maybe we'll do an audience vote. But Terry likes it better without the beard. So, anyway, he developed his interest in trucking from his neighbor, Jack Bostic, who happened to be an owner-operator. Bradley would spend most of the weekends with him on the road. He attended a truck driving school and obtained his first truck driving job in 1981 with Dunes Transportation. After a year, he was offered a local position hauling baked goods to restaurants in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, and he joined AFES in June of 1987. In addition to his driving duties, he is actually, he serves as the liaison between the distribution center in Dayton and the exchange stores throughout, ensuring total customer satisfaction. And he represents Teamsters Local 957 as the shop steward in Dayton. What makes him so successful? Well, let's listen. This is shot in somebody else's office, so it's not Bradley's office. This is in somebody else's office. But one thing that is Bradley's is the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I think I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. You know, I always try to even pass on a little cheer to other people. You know, life's too short to be mad and angry. You know, put a little smile on your face and make somebody else smile.
And he does make people smile. I promise you this. It's just amazing to be around him and understand his commitment. One of the things that he also has a privilege of doing and does quite well is he represents AFES at a number of events that they do. And this is him and his unit at a survivor outreach. All those people are, survivor outreach, if you don't know, supports families of fallen soldiers. Okay, so he brings his unit out, he mixes it up with the people, and you'll see he's here in Indianapolis. Here's an event in Iowa that he went to, and another one in Indianapolis, right there, or Bradford Woods, south of Indianapolis. Pretty impressive what he does in his off time in terms of doing that and reaching out, making sure these people are not forgotten. He also advises, don't try and do too much. That's what he tells the other drivers. Just don't try and be in a hurry. Don't try and be too much. One example is that he passed on to me involves the use of chains. Let's hear him tell that story.
Chains, in his mind, chains are designed for one thing, and that's to get you off the road. They're not for you to go down the road. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind. If it's bad enough you have to put chains on to further yourself even further down the road, opposed to getting to a safe place to stop, then something.
So again, little tips that you pick up from these guys and their experience. I picked up a lot more than I'm sharing with you guys. But the one thing that I emphasize, or I learned with Bradley, is he's giving of himself all the time. Here he is with some other AFES employees, and these guys do anything that he wants to do, but that's because he does everything and more than he should be doing. And it's pretty impressive. And there he is without the beard. So, beard or no beard? I think the beard. I'll just vote for all of us, okay? Terry, you're overruled. So, here he is with a couple of the soldiers, and another piece of advice, as I said, he hustles. You can see how he moves, and he takes great pride in the fact that he does, he gets a lot of exercise, and the son of a gun can still fit in the same clothes that he wore in high school. Okay? You're going to see a lot of people afterwards, and they're upset about that. Okay? But let's share this.
Don't get in a hurry. One of my things is if you get in a hurry, accidents happen. And in almost every instance of an accident, that's what it was. Someone was in a hurry. And that causes people to make mistakes, make wrong judgments, or bad calls going down the highway. Just slow down. You know, speed limit's there for a reason. You know, do it. It may depend on whether or not you go home or not.
So again, good advice. He just loves giving time back to the community, to the people that he serves. Here's a soldier, another soldier with him with a couple of family members. The one thing that he also gives back to his family. He loves his family greatly. He is very active when he has some time. And again, I don't know where these guys get the time, but he and his wife are very active in breast cancer research and support groups and that type of thing. And that's because, Terry, I hope you don't mind, but she's close to marking her 10-year anniversary of beating the disease. So, what advice? He says Grandpa gave him some advice early on that he stuck to.
You know, to me, it's just doing my job. You know, when I was, you know, about 18, I went and helped my grandpa do some stuff on my dad's side, and he told me, he said, "Give you some advice." He said, "If you want anything in your life, get off your ass and work for it, because ain't nobody gonna give it to you." So, you know, that's always in the back of my mind. You know, if you want that, you better work your butt off. You know.
And again, he hauls so much more than just the loads on the back of that truck. The final bit are just two cute pictures that I had to share with him in terms of some, he always takes his trucks out to various events and he shares those, so I wanted to end that with that, but I'd be remiss. Brittany, I gotta introduce you and your two kids. This is his daughter Brittany and Madison and Maisie that are the pride of his life. And again, we cannot do it alone. Can't do it alone. Thanks, guys.